Hi, how are you? My name is Manuel Barrientos. Many people call me Chef Juanma. I'm a founder and chef of El Cielo restaurant. El Cielo, it's a hospitality group and a restaurant and some restaurants all over the world. We have restaurants in Medellin, in Bogota, in Miami, and in Washington. And we also have another couple of restaurants back in Colombia, where we have a vegan restaurant, an Asian restaurant, a Mexican restaurant, hotels and bars. And my story with the beans starts in my early age. I didn't like them because back in Colombia, there's like one way of preparing them in my hometown, which I didn't like it. So when I raised, I tried to skip them in my kitchen. And then when my daughter was born, we decided to raise her as a vegan with a vegan diet. So we started rethinking many ingredients and searching for the proteins that we need her in her diet. And at the same time, we start changing our own diets and skipping like food, animal derivatives and meat and many things like because if we were gonna raise them, we have to empower more vegetables and more plant-based ingredients. So at the same time, we have a food library, like a flavor library that with more than 1,500 ingredients in our library, in our lab in Medellin, in our food lab. And there we have around 70 different beans that we have collected all over the world. And we start rethinking beans in many ways, how to prepare them, and not just how to prepare them, but one thing that we are always challenging ourselves is to take one things from the usual way of using them to an unusual way of using, and we call that magical realism, which is also like Colombia's brand or slogan, because Colombia is pure realismo mágico. So we decided to do a cuisine that was like challenge standards. So I started challenging myself first at home for the diet of my daughter. So I started. The first thing I did with beans was waffles, which I used to take yuca, that is a root with corn and beans, and I will use the flowers and then a little bit of bananas and flaxseed and do waffles for her with a lot of protein, no gluten free, and using agave syrup, which they didn't have sugar because her diet is pretty strict in the plant based and in many ingredients that are like not good for our health. So then I start taking all that ideas to the restaurant at El Cielo, and we start. The first thing we challenge is like many people think that beans are like a salty food, so we take them to the sweet part of our restaurant and start doing desserts. And the first thing that we find when we were investigating was the Japanese desserts have a lot of beans in their desserts. That way, we start looking for many things. We start creating different dishes, snacks, main dishes, and we start creating more and more plates for the restaurant. And because we change the menu every 3 months, we have to create around 150 plates every year in our food lab. So after that, we start creating a new concept of vegan restaurant called Kaimi, which we have in Medellin, and now we will open in Washington and in Miami. And we have a lot of different ideas with beans in that restaurant. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you one plate that I created, which is a dessert with my team. Um, so what we did is I'm just gonna plate it, but we use the white bean. We use the cargamanto, the one we call cargamanto, and the red bean. So what we did, we did red fruit forest sauce. So I'm gonna put it here. I'm gonna show you. Then what we did is we did like a cheesecake. I wanted to do for because it's very American a cheesecake, so we wanted to do a cheesecake with beans. So we did the base. It's a red bean. Red bean. We do a brownie of red beans. Basically, what we do is we cook them. We let them wet all overnight. Then we cook them. Then we smash it with sugar, and we add butter and flour, and then we do a brownie, which is this one. So I'm gonna put it here. This one is with red beans. With red beans. This is with white beans. So what we do is we cook the same way. We wet them in the during night. We throw away that water, and then we use new water to cook them. Once we have them cooked, we add a little bit of milk, and we uh, mix them with the milk and the sugar, and then we add heavy cream, and we kind of wipe the all the preparation to get a little bit of air. Then we have a mold, and we put in the mold the preparation, and then we freeze it because it's very light. This if you could touch it, is very light. So we freeze it, and then we unmold it, and then we leave them in a tray in the refrigerator, ready for the service. So this is very delicate. So I'm gonna put it here, and then we have this black cracker. So we use sugar and the black bean, basically the same. We stir the black bean with sugar and a little bit of water. Nothing, no other ingredient. Sometimes people use a little bit of gelatin, but what we do is we put them in a silpat, and we leave them at 65 degrees Celsius like 2-3 days, and it will get this texture, which is a cracker. So right now, what I'm gonna put is these crackers here. And we have the our dessert. So I'm gonna name it again. So it's a red fruit sauce. It's a red bean brownie, a white bean like panna cotta for the cheesecake, and the crackers are black bean with a bit of sugar, 3 days under 65 degrees, so they dehydrate. Also, we have arequipe, which is like reduce sugar with milk, like a caramel, but with milk, that we do in Colombia. So the same thing we do with black beans and the sugar and the milk, and we reduce them, and we do these bonbons, and we fill with arequipe of black bean the bonbons, and they're really nice. Mm, Many people know arequipe as cajeta, or as dulce de leche, like in Argentina or Mexico. We call it arequipa, and it's really nice. Mm, I can not leave the opportunity to taste it because it's really nice. Mm, and this is a dessert who still has the calories and many things of a dessert, but still have the protein and all the the nutrition that has the bean, all the beans, the three beans that we are using. So it's a really, really nice dessert. The texture is really good. Mm, and I want to challenge all the chefs, all the people at home to cook with beans, because the beans give us a lot of important things in our nutrition, and a lot of things that are texture that we can get. As you can see, we have a brownie, we have a panna cotta, and we have a cracker with the beans. So I want to thank the U.S. Dry Bean Council for inviting me, for challenging me, because it has been a quite an adventure to show you this in these sessions, all these desserts and all these new dishes that we are creating every session, and for also for our menus, because these developments, we are also using them in our restaurant. So anytime you come, you will see some of all our beans of the US Dry Council in our plates. So thank you very much.